Welcome to Confidently Speaking, the podcast that'll get you to fall in love with your own version of English.
Hello, everybody. Very good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you guys are in the world. Welcome to Confidently Speaking, episode number 4. My goodness, it's already been 1 month. It's already been a month since I released the first episode, and I gotta tell you guys, I'm feeling good about this podcast. I mean, the numbers aren't huge, but they're quite motivating, let's say, right? So I'm really loving the fact that many of you guys have been listening to me, and also the fact that if you know somebody who might benefit from this content that you're sharing, because if you want to help me out, if you want to keep my content coming, all you have to do is rate it, on Spotify or whatever application or podcasting service you use to listen to this. All you have to do is rate it with 5 stars or the highest marks, and also let people know about the fact that if they want to increase their English level, if they want to feel more confident while speaking English, they should be listening to me, right? Right. So thank you very much for your support, and let's get cracking, because today we're going to be talking about expressing yourself. Alrighty, so what does it mean to express yourself? Well, I'm pretty sure that you found yourself in a situation where you have something to bring to the table. You have something to contribute to the conversation, and you double guess, you second guess yourself. And that's because you are afraid of the fact that people might not understand you, or that you might make a grammatical or pronunciation mistake, and then you rather stay quiet rather than expressing that thought. But I'm going to tell you why that's actually a problem, because you're depriving the world, or at least the people you are speaking with, from getting to know your ideas and having a peek into your world. And also, we have to remember that regardless of our English level, your ideas are worth it. I mean, there's a reason why you were part of a conversation, right? So, hey, do not stifle yourself. Stifling means to push yourself down or pull yourself down. It's gaslighting. Don't gaslight yourself, guys. Empower yourselves and share whatever you have inside. That's actually the reason why I'm creating this podcast, because I don't want to stifle myself. I know what I say has value, and what you have to say has value too, right? So the very first thing is that we have to know how to agree or disagree with others. And then we have to learn how to give our opinion, because, that's an important part of communication, right? Now, you can't just turn to the person you're talking to and say, no, you're wrong. I am right, and this is a fact, right? You don't want to do that, because that would be rude, and it would likely make other people lose interest in hearing your opinion altogether. So there are certain phrases that you can use to introduce your opinion, or to qualify what you're saying as just your opinion and, not a scientific fact, right? So there are also a few ways that you can politely disagree with other people without causing them offense, right? Knowing these phrases and when and how to use them will enable you to have deeper relationships with the people you'd like to talk to. On top of that, your opinion will become more highly regarded, as people will actively listen to you and value how you listen to them. So, the very first thing, and the most obvious thing, right? This is a way to give your opinion. And then you say, in my opinion. Now, I know that this phrase sounds quite obvious, but hey, it doesn't lessen your words, but rather it tells the other person that you're open to the possibility of hearing other opinions. Although you possibly won't agree with them as you've already formed your opinion. It's very commonly used, in my opinion, even to the point that it has been abbreviated for text form. IMO, in my opinion, right? The phrase can be extended to soften the impact of your opinion, especially if you suspect that it may cause offense or embarrassment for other person. So just add H, which stands for honest or humble, right? So instead of saying IMO, you can say IMHO, which is in my humble opinion, right? Of course, this is all for text. Now, there are other phrases for giving your opinions, right? Maybe you're not a fan of IMO. So, preceding your opinion with one of these phrases, for example, can also indicate that what you're saying may not be totally researched and may well be contrary to popular belief. But it is your point of view, right? When we say contrary to popular belief, we're saying that you're going to express something that a lot of people won't agree with, and that's okay. Right? It's an unpopular opinion. So these are 10 phrases that you can use in order to, express that same idea. Right? You can start with, I think. There's a lot of people who use this, and many consider it basic, but there's nothing wrong with basic, right? So hey, I think I don't like it, or I think I saw it somewhere else, so it's not quite original. The important thing to remember is that when you say I think, don't forget about that K, because a lot of Spanish speakers forget that K sound. They say I think instead of I think, right? So you can also say, a variant of this word, which is I believe, right? I believe, or in my view, in my eyes, you can also say that. I feel like this could pose a problem. I feel, right? I suppose that we might have a chance of success. I suppose. Well, if you ask me, it's weird that you say that because, sometimes nobody asked you. We assume that, hey, if you asked me, right? No, but it's in the present. Well, if you ask me, and then you express your opinion. It seems to me that to my mind, and then finally, I guess. That one also works. I guess. So all of these phrases can simply be placed at the front of your sentence to make your speech more polite, right? Now, conversations are two or more way streets, right? A two-way street is a street that goes and comes, right? Like people travel in both directions. And conversations need opinions and voices from more than one side. Or they're nothing more than a lecture, right? A monologue. Even in situations where you are an expert, hey, it can still be interesting to hear other people's opinions. And it always feels nice to be asked for one. So here are some phrases you can use to ask for an opinion. Check this out. What's your opinion of, or what's your opinion on this topic? For example, what do you think? Listen to that. What do you think sounds what do you think? So what do you think? What are your thoughts on? What are your thoughts on? And how do you feel about? How do you feel about? I'm not sure. How do you feel about doing this? Right? Now, these are some phrases that you can use for agreeing, right? The ones I'm about to say, right? Once you've heard someone's opinion, whether you asked for it or not, it's time to acknowledge that you're listening, right? And it's time for you to contribute to the discussion by either agreeing or disagreeing with what has been said. Now, one very useful phrase that can be used in many ways is I see your point. I see your point. Now, simply saying this phrase is a way of showing the other person that you're listening or that you understand what they're saying. Following the phrase with "but" allows you to kindly and gently disagree with the point that was made, or adding "and" or "also" followed by some more points is an excellent way of agreeing and then furthering or taking the conversation or the discussion to the next level, right? Of course, other phrases that you can use include "I agree," "absolutely," "I couldn't agree more," "precisely," "Oh, that's a good point," "definitely," "definitely," "Oh, that's true." You took the words right out of my mouth. As with the phrases for expressing opinion, all of these phrases can be put at the start of your sentence, followed by a statement like, "Absolutely, the team played awfully," right? Alternatively, these phrases can be used as statements with nothing following them, right? So let's move on to the next point, which is adding strength to your words. Now, some of the phrases we've discussed can be strengthened to make your opinion stand out even more. Simply adding an adverb to the phrase can give it extra impact. For example, "I completely agree with you," or "I totally believe," and "I really think." Really, right? Here's the thing, guys. If you were unsure of the way to express your opinion, well, hopefully this guide has given you a few ideas or, a variety of ways for you to say like that idea or that thought that formulated into your mind. And, like giving you the confidence. If you practice these expressions, you're going to find yourself with the confidence to actually interject in a conversation, right? To interrupt and express your opinion, because once again, I got to tell you guys, we as English learners sometimes have a tendency of gaslighting ourselves, as in, like my idea wasn't as good, or hey, like I might not even say it because they're going to make fun of me or they won't understand me, and then it's going to be too much of a hassle. Well, let me tell you something, guys. It can indeed become too much of a hassle, but at the same time, the more you do it, the less hassle it's going to be, and then the more automatically it'll be for you to express yourself, right? So thank you very much for giving me the most valuable currency of all nowadays, which is your attention. Guys, it's been great. Thank you. And once again, if it would really help me if you could rate this podcast with the highest ranking. Of course, this is only if you liked what you heard, right? But it's free. This information is completely for free, and it would mean a lot to me if you could share with your friends or your family or your significant others that you think, they're interested in learning or improving their English, and this is going to be helpful for them, right? So let them know about this podcast, interact with the comments on Spotify, and hey, follow me on my social media because, okay, here's the thing. My social media is at English with Frank, all lower cases and no spaces, English with Frank, like that. Here's the thing. I don't know if by this moment I already released my course, my audio course that's about providing clarity and explaining people the most common mistakes that people make when they're pronouncing English, right? The most common pronunciation mistakes. And I don't know if by this time it's already out there. And if it is, the way you find out about it is by going to my social media, right? So Instagram or TikTok. I mean, you can also find me on Facebook and on YouTube, but I am most active on TikTok and Instagram, right? So don't forget to also send me a message if you are interested in hiring me as your English teacher. All you have to do is send me a WhatsApp message, and you can find that info right there. You go to my social media, tap on the links, and you're going to see the information right there. So I think I can also add it to the show notes. I think I'm going to start doing it. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. It's been great. I'll see you next Sunday at 7 p.m. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.